Where are we? Where are we less than 2 years later?
You're in a different party.
We're here. Millions of people across this country look upon the performance of the last government as this one, and they say these are wasted years. How could we have people claiming PIP who haven't even been to a face-to-face appointment with a genuine clinician? This is madness. It has to change.
Stay with me, because the full video I'm about to show you puts everything into a new perspective. Right, so picture this. A politician gets asked a question, probably expecting the usual dodge, the classic non-answer, the masterclass in saying absolutely nothing while appearing to say everything. You know the type. They stand up, they adjust their tie, they clear their throat, they say, "Well, what a great question," and then proceed to talk for 4 minutes about something entirely unrelated before sitting down looking very pleased with themselves. Classic. Brilliant. A true art form, really. But what happens when someone actually answers the question properly, with, dare I say it, actual policies? Well, buckle up, because that is exactly what went down in the House of Commons recently, and honestly, it did not go the way anyone was expecting. Now, we have to set the scene here, because context is everything. Less than 2 years ago, the current government swept into power with one of the largest parliamentary majorities in a century. 100 years, people. That is not a small thing. Voters across the country, from Nottinghamshire to Northumberland, put their faith, their hopes, their absolute desperation for something different into this party. They were promised change. They were told things would be done differently. No more chaos, no more nonsense. Country before party. Lovely stuff. Very inspiring. The kind of speech that makes you want to stand up and applaud while a single tear rolls patriotically down your cheek. And then, as tends to happen in politics, reality showed up uninvited. Real quick before we roll the footage, if you're enjoying this content, do me a huge favour. Hit that like button and smash subscribe. Over 98% of viewers watch without subscribing. Don't be one of them. It's free for you and it helps us out more than you know. Already clicked? You're awesome. Let's get into the video.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. Well, what a complete shambles. Less than 2 years ago, this government was elected with the largest majority any government has been elected, bar one, in 100 years. People across our country, including most in my home county of Nottinghamshire, put their trust in this party. Why? Because they promised change. They said they would do things differently, they would be better, they would end the chaos, they would put country before party. And where are we? Where are we less than 2 years later?
You're in a different party.
We're here. Well, the honourable member says, why did I change party? Well, I'll tell you why I changed party. I'll tell you why I changed party. Because millions of people across this country look upon the performance of the last government as this one, and they say these are wasted years. That our country needs real change, and yet we see nothing for it. I'll give way.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. And so I do thank him. But he's been speaking now for 7 minutes. I fear he's learnt well from his master, and I don't mean the one in Thailand. There's long description with all the problems in the country, but no solutions. 7 minutes without a positive policy offer for this people in this chamber and also for his constituents. 7 minutes.
Well, let me give the honourable gentleman some then. I tell you some things that reform would do, were there a reform government. Number one, we would get a grip on the ballooning benefits bill. Let's get the millions of people in this country who are out of work back into the workplace. In order to get the benefits bill down, as a moral imperative, why write off millions of our fellow citizens, especially the young? How can people be off work with mild anxiety? How can we have people claiming PIP who haven't even been to a face-to-face appointment with a genuine clinician? This is madness. It has to change. Okay, I'll give you a second thing. We'll scrap net zero so that we end the deindustrialisation of our country. Steel, chemicals, fertilisers, glass, ceramics, car making, jobs, 2 million jobs depend on high energy intensive industries. All will be gone. within the next 10 years. Those are two things that we could do. I'll give you a last one. End illegal migration. And the way that we do that, is not merely to stop the boats, but to end the farce that people come here on ILR, knowing that they will ultimately become citizens of this country on a short path and cost hundreds of billions of pounds to the Exchequer. Now, the Labour Party has a policy, we're told, that takes us some way to that. But then we have the Right Honourable Lady for Ashton-under-Lyne saying that the Home Secretary should be sacked for having the audacity to propose some pretty weak but nonetheless sensible changes to our legal and illegal migration systems. That gives you a clue about what is to come.
So there we are in the chamber, and a Reform MP stands to speak. Now, immediately, someone from the other side shouts, almost as a gotcha, "You're in a different party." Which, fair point technically, but also absolutely magnificent in its uselessness as a political rebuttal. That is the level of debate we are working with here, ladies and gentlemen. The MP, to his credit, does not miss a beat. He says, yes, he changed party, and here is precisely why. Because millions of people across this country look at the last government, look at the current government, and think these are wasted years. Not one wasted year, years plural. And the country, in his view, desperately needs real change and is simply not getting it. Now here is where it gets absolutely brilliant. Another MP interrupts and says, somewhat pointedly, that this gentleman has been speaking for 7 minutes about all the problems in the country without offering a single positive policy. 7 minutes, no solutions, just problems. And look, that is a fair challenge, a very fair challenge. Politics is full of people who are absolutely magnificent at identifying what is wrong and completely allergic to explaining what they would do about it. It is practically a job requirement at this point. But then, and this is the bit that apparently caught people off guard, the Reform MP says, right then, let me give you some policies. And he does. He actually does. First, he says Reform would tackle the benefits bill by getting millions of people who are out of work back into employment. He frames it as a moral issue, arguing that writing off millions of fellow citizens, particularly young people, is simply unacceptable. He questions how people can be signed off work for mild anxiety without ever seeing a clinician face-to-face. Strong words, controversial, absolutely, but words, notably, attached to an actual position. Second, he says they would scrap net zero targets, arguing that the current trajectory is quietly dismantling British industry, steel, chemicals, fertilizers, glass, car manufacturing. He claims 2 million jobs in high-energy-intensive industries are at serious risk within the next decade. Whether you agree with that or not, it is again a policy, a thing, a tangible, arguable, debatable thing. And third, he turns to the question of illegal migration, arguing that simply stopping the boats is not sufficient, and that the broader pathway to citizenship through indefinite leave to remain needs to be fundamentally rethought at enormous cost to the public purse. Now, the Chamber does what the Chamber does best, which is erupt into noise and theatre and everyone talking at once, which is essentially Prime Minister's questions but on a Tuesday afternoon with slightly less gel in the hair. The entire exchange is a perfect little snapshot of British political theatre in 2025. Someone asks for solutions, someone actually provides them, and somehow that ends up being the most surprising thing that has happened all week. Make of that what you will.